Hi, I'm Jeffrey. Welcome back to my channel. The topic for today's video is the structure of a cognitive behavioral therapy session. Therapy can seem like a mystery. What do sessions look like? Do you just sit back on a couch and say whatever comes to your mind? Is it a place where you vent all your frustrations? Is it a place where you fill out a bunch of worksheets? In this video, I will provide a step-by-step process of the structure of a cognitive behavioral therapy session. I learned this structure from a book called Cognitive Behavioral Basics and Beyond, written by Dr. Judith Beck. I highly recommend this book for any clinician looking to use cognitive behavioral therapy. I also made sure to put the link to the book in the description. The structure that I will be describing is different than the initial intake and the initial therapy appointment. The structure that I will be providing is to describe the therapy sessions that follow the initial appointment. So, what does a cognitive behavioral therapy session look like? The first step is to assess the client's mood for the past week. A therapist may use this with a formal questionnaire or an informal question. An informal question might sound something like this. Emotionally, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 saying you had the worst week ever and 10 saying you had the best week ever, on that scale, what number would you give it? The reason for this question is so the therapist can assess the progress or lack of progress throughout treatment. The second step is to provide an update. A therapist will ask a client what happened throughout the past week, all the good and all the bad. This is to further assess when a client might be at their best and at their worst, and the types of activities that they might be doing that help them feel better or worse throughout the week. Having an update like this can also help provide with a potential topic to work through in the therapy session. The third step is asking about the near future. A therapist will ask their client what will be happening in the next week or until the next therapy session. This is because there might be something important that the therapist can work through with the client in the therapy session, and it may take priority over other topics. These could be events such as having a driver's test, a big test for school, or something along those lines. The fourth step is to plan and to prioritize the topics for the therapy session. So a client and a therapist may collaboratively decide what to work on in that therapy session. Topics can be very broad. It may include venting about a spouse, increasing energy to be able to go back to work, working through cognitive distortions, or it might even be sharing your grandma's favorite cooking recipe. A therapist and a client will decide together what to tackle first, second, and so on, depending on the importance of each item. The fifth step is to work on the topics one by one. Depending on the topic, the therapist may help the client through problem solving, or they may just sit back and reflect what the client is saying, or the client and the therapist might role play something out. It just really varies from topic to topic. The sixth step is homework. A therapist may or may not assign homework depending on what was discussed during the therapy session. Typical therapy assignments may include practicing deep breathing, filling out a thought record, meditating, socializing with friends, or something else. A therapist may help the client maximize their chances of completing the therapy assignment. This can be done by creating reminders. This can also be done by helping the client navigate any obstacles that might impede them from completing their therapy assignment. The seventh step is a summary. This is really done to recap the session and to have a few main takeaways. The eighth step is to ask the client for feedback. So a therapist might ask, "What did you think about today's session?" This is important because it allows the client to provide either positive or negative feedback, and then the therapist can either continue providing therapy the way they are doing it, or they can change their ways depending on the feedback that the client provides. This is the 8-step process of a typical cognitive behavioral therapy session. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And for more content like this, make sure to subscribe to my channel. Thank you, and see you in the next one.